Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'll be going through the top 10 left backs of the Premier League era. So like right back's a bit of a difficult decision because there's not been loads and loads of standout left backs necessarily, but this is slightly easier I'd say than the right back one, but it's still pretty difficult. It gets easier as the list goes on really. It was quite difficult to find an overall 10, but I did get there eventually. Honourable mention to Danny Rose. Danny Rose spent a few very good years at Tottenham, but I don't think Danny Rose has mainly performed consistently enough over the years to maybe warrant a top 10 defence left back in the Premier League era. In at number 10, I've got Stuart Pearce. Now, Stuart Pearce was a relatively divided player, really, but he was a club legend at Nottingham Forest, but a lot of that tenure was played in the First Division, the old First Division, instead of the Premier League. But overall, I think Pearce warrants a place in this list, mainly because he was a good left back, a very solid, a very, as they called a psycho, of course. He wasn't never at his best for England, as we all know. He made a few mistakes for them, but at club level in the Premier League, I think he just about makes it into the top 10 really for his overall play, and he was a decent left back as well. So yeah, I'd say he deserves a place in this list. Number 9, you've got Ian Hart. Now, I personally think Ian Hart was quite an underrated left back, really, and spent, of course, many of his years at Leeds. That was where his main time in the Premier League was, and he was a good free kick specialist. And Ian Hart was generally a good left back, a solid left back on his day. Yeah, there wasn't much wrong with Ian Hart, so I think he just about gets in here, really. I'd say he was more of a goal scoring fullback as well. Ian Hart was, but I was a fan of his, and I'd say he gets ninth place here. I'd think that's about fair enough. Number 8, we've got Gael Clichy. Now, I was a big fan of Gael Clichy at Arsenal and Manchester City. Just a very solid fullback, good at the back. He was good enough going forward as well. He was a bit of a part of the Arsenal Invincibles, not a massive part of it, but he was a part of the Invincibles. He did get the medal, but I think Clichy was decent overall. I mean, he did fade out in his last couple of years at Man City. He wasn't as good a left back, but Gael Clichy was always solid. You always knew what you were going to get with him. Quite underrated, really, at times as well. Yeah, I was definitely a fan of Clichy's. Good days at Arsenal and also good days at Man City. All round a good overall Premier League career. Number 7, we've got John Onorisa. Now, this man could hit a football. That was one thing for sure with John Onorisa. He never failed to play less than 35 games in all competitions. He was a regular at Liverpool. The only controversial thing slightly here is the fact that did at times play on the left wing. He wasn't always an out-and-out left back, but overall, John Oreson played most of his football at left back, and he was a good left back at that. Decent defensively, but much better going forward than he was at the back. Could hit a really good shot. Scored a fair few goals for Liverpool as well, especially for a left back. Didn't have a bad ratio at all. Yeah, John Onorisa was a very good left back. Also played for Fulham. Had a pretty good spell at Fulham as well, but his best days for me were probably at Anfield. But yeah, good left back Risa. I'd definitely say warrants place in the top 10. Yeah, always a fan of Risa's. Number 6, we've got Leighton Baines. Now, massive fan of Leighton Baines. Like Seamus Coleman, quite surprised he never went to, with all due respect to Everton, a Manchester United or a Manchester City even when those two teams were at the peak of their powers, because he would have been a good fit for a couple like a set piece specialist as well. Leighton Baines, you'd find not many of any left backs who've got a better free kick than Leighton Baines. He was good going forward. Good at the back. One thing I always remember with Baines is the link-up he had in the 2012-13 season with Stephen Pienaar, how deadly they were for right-backs and, to cope with, because they certainly had a good understanding. But big fan of Leighton Baines, easily in the top 10 in my opinion. Quite an underrated centre-back. I mean, if Everton do have a club legend over the last 10, 15 years, he's certainly up there. A cult hero at least, but yeah, big fan of Baines, and he's still even, playing now, and even at his old age, he still does a job at left-back as well. So you've got big credit to him. He was also at Wigan at the start of his Premier League era as well. And he was always decent there as well, but he's definitely made a name for himself at Everton, so fair play to him. Number 5, we've got Graham Lasso. Now, Graham Lasso was probably the most solid fullback you're ever going to find. There wasn't really many flaws picked with him at all. Didn't always do majorly things special going forward, but my God, was the man solid. Very good. Very good fullback. Difficult to find flaws with him. Just an overall solid left back. There's not really too much to say on Lasso overall, but he had good spells in the Premier League at a few clubs. And yeah, I'd say he definitely deserves a place here for being how solid he really was. Number 4, we've got Nigel Winterburn. Now, Nutty Nige, as he was known, absolutely fantastic left back. He was a part of Arsenal's back 5, which had the chant of 1-0 to the Arsenal. Just very good. I mean, yeah, not much bad to say about him at all. Like, just a big fan of Nigel Winterburn. Good going forward, good at the back, but scored some good goals in his time as well. Remember that one away at Stamford Bridge that he scored to win Arsenal the match. But yeah, Nigel Winterburn, just terrific. What a left back in his day. Brilliant. I think he's unlucky really doesn't rank a bit higher in this, but the first decision of left backs from fourth to first was quite difficult to choose. But Winterburn was great and easily deserves a place in the top five. Very good left back. Admired watching him for so many years at Arsenal as well. Just a true pro really as well. We can't really beat a man like Nigel Winterburn. Number 3, we've got Dennis Irwin. Again, a Manchester United regular for the first 9 or 10 years of the Premier League era. Brilliant left back. Again, like Lasso, solid as they come really, Irwin. Heart on the line left back. Brilliant. I mean, your Man United would find it very difficult to replace him originally. It took him a few years, but yeah, big fan of Irwin, really. His performance has kind of decreased as he went on, really, through the years, but yeah, no doubt, excellent left back, and again, just as solid as they come, really, but yeah, great servant to Manchester United as well, so number 2, we've got Patrice Evra now. Choosing between 1 and 2 was quite difficult. 2 players I watched in my prime pretty much, and Patrice Evra was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant left back. Signed in January 2006 for Manchester United, and there was a lot of things that were impressive with Evra. I mean, the only thing that maybe cost Evra his place at number 1 potentially is the fact he did fade off in his last couple of seasons. He wasn't the same left back, and he was more easily got at, but no, Evra was a terrific left back though, an absolute animal at the back, good going forward, good defensively, part of a very good Manchester United team as well. Yeah, what a left back Evra was, really. A lot of decent memories of him as well, watching him play, and he was just a true good left back to watch, Evra. He was part of such a good side as well, so good going forward, yeah, brilliant to watch. And number 1, Ashley Cole. Now, Ashley Cole his prime years came at Chelsea, in my opinion, but very good at Arsenal. Big part of Arsenal's Invincibles as well. Played over 30 games in the Invincible season. Yeah, absolutely brilliant left back, Ashley Cole. Had everything. Good going forward, good at the back. Excellent with his goal line clearance. I always remember a lot of his goal line clearances, really, in the Premier League. But, yeah, just not really much bad. Can't say bad words about Ashley Cole, really. Absolutely brilliant left back to watch. In his last couple of years, maybe did go a bit downhill, but still, I mean, absolutely hero for Chelsea mainly as well. Didn't leave Arsenal on the best terms, but still should be quite well renowned really for what he did for the club overall, like as an Invincible. But yeah, not Ashley Cole, great going forward, great defensively. For me, out of the England golden generation, he was probably the one in the team who many people thought was the best in the world in his position at a time. You'd find it hard to find a better left back than Ashley Cole in his position for many. For me, he could be the greatest left back of all time, but that might be pushing it a little bit, but he's certainly in the conversation, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd put Ashley Cole at number 1. Brilliant. Arguably the most complete fullback I've ever watched. Probably say the best fullback in the Premier League era, in my opinion, as well. So yeah, that's my list. Thank you for watching. And please like, share, and subscribe, and spread the word around. And I'll be back with you soon. And I'll be back soon with more videos. Thank you very much. And yeah, see you soon.